So imagine having not one, but two buildings towering over your backyard.
It is happening to one homeowner who lives in Brookside, and so far he's fighting an unsuccessful battle with city permitting.
Here's 41 Action News investigator Andy Alcock with this story.
My lettuce is pretty much gone.
John Still likes to work in his backyard at his home in Kansas City's Brookside Gardens neighborhood.
This is okra back here.
Still has lived at his Oak Street home for 47 years.
There are a brood box and a honey box making honey.
Where he now keeps honeybees as part of his backyard garden. But a real buzzkill for Still is this new structure currently under construction in his neighbor's backyard, right behind Still's backyard and his garage.
I think it's inappropriate because the number one thing is it's not at all in character with the residential development in this Brookside Park.
Nearly a decade ago, Still's former neighbor applied for and received a variance to build this garage right behind Still's home. It turned out to be larger than Still or anybody else in the neighborhood expected, a 4-car garage. Now there's a new building going up right next to it.
I want to know how this happened. I want to know why it was permitted.
Still admits he made a mistake by not going to the variance meeting for the garage in 2010, where he could have had input as a neighbor. As for the new structure, city records we obtained show a permit was issued for it and it passed its first inspection. In a letter Still wrote to the city planning and development leaders last week, he questioned that approval process.
Ultimately, I'd like to have it taken away, but I think that's probably asking too much.
Still's neighbor didn't want to speak on camera, but called the situation a non-story because the city issued the necessary permits. One key element of the approved plan is the new building is supposed to be attached to the garage by an outdoor hallway or breezeway. For that reason, inspectors consider the new building an accessory structure to the garage. It means the structure can be built without a variance meeting and potential input from neighbors. Still isn't satisfied.
We have a swamp back here when we have the torrential rains that we've had.
The reason? There are no gutters on the back of his neighbor's garage. Still believes the new building with the roof sloping towards his property will only make that issue worse. After we met with Still and spoke to his neighbor, the two men met here in Still's backyard. The neighbor agreed to help Still with his water problem by installing gutters on both structures, as well as possibly planting a tree and getting rain barrels for the gutter water. Final city approval for the new structure is pending. I'm investigator Andy Alcock, 41 Action News.
Well, if you live in Kansas City, Missouri, you can find out about building permits in your neighborhood by visiting the city website. You can find that link in the web link section at kshb.com. For further questions or issues, you can also contact City Planning and Development at the number right there on your screen.
A big